road racing by Emerson Fittipaldi. The track appears to be just about ready to go, but I would say, Paul, still a couple of laps under the yellow.
Now they still have to get all of the Horton safety vehicles back on station, back into position, so it'll be a little while yet before they can run.
Live coverage of the 1989 Molson Indy on Sports Weekend will continue from Toronto on this warm Sunday afternoon right after this. We're under the full yellow, 4 out of the race. Ireland's Derek Daly, the former Formula One champion, Roberto Guerrero, the South American in the Alfa Romeo, and of course Mario Andretti, who smacked into that Guerrero car on the Toronto lakefront, and he's now receiving a loud ovation as he finally arrives back in the pit area. The pace car is followed by Danny Sullivan, Emerson Fittipaldi, Michael Andretti, Al Unser Jr. running 4th, Bobby Rahal 5th, Dale Fabi is 6th, Rick Mears, who's won twice this year at Phoenix and West Allis, Wisconsin, is running 7th. That's that great left turn I told you about down into the right turn. And I would say in about one more lap, we will be racing. Those are the Prince's Gates. That right turn goes down onto the Toronto Lakeshore, and that is where the accident, Mario Andretti, right about where the cars are now on the right of your screen, just coming around that corner, is where he smacked into Guerrero.
I think we may have indicated that Derek Daly is no longer running. They, in fact, got the car started, and he is back on the circuit once again, though he is well behind the race itself.
Lola Cosworth of Guido Daco is back out onto the track. Let me give you some of the other drivers. Scott Goodyear is now up into 11th position. He drove that strong Audi four-wheel car in the IMSA GTO series. Has not been involved in open car racing at the kart level for 2 years since he was 8 here in 1987. So a tremendous job by Willowdale, Ontario, Scotty Goodyear, who is now running 11th after starting from the number 14 position. John Jones from Thunder Bay, Ontario, is now running 14th as they continue under that full course yellow. There is car 71 of Ludwig Heimrath Jr. Scott Goodyear will be driving car number 91, is driving 91. That's the onboard camera with Heimrath Jr. John Jones from Thunder Bay is running in the number 14 position. He qualified 15th fastest, but had some trouble on the grid. They moved his car into the pits, and he was forced to start from the back of the field, and he has certainly done a great job working his way back up through this field. Now, through 17 laps, we are still under full yellow as a result of that spectacular crash. Mario Andretti running into the stalled car of Roberto Guerrero. They come by the start-finish area one more time, still under the full yellow. It is still Danny Sullivan, Emerson Fittipaldi, Michael Andretti, and Al Unser Jr. Paul Page, one of the longer yellow flags we've seen this season.
Yeah, it has been. You know, it has erased, though, any question about fuel in this race, which was a question up and down the pits before the race began. In IndyCar racing, they allocate only so much fuel for the run. They try to average it at 1.9 miles per gallon of methanol fuel. It's a distillate byproduct. It's not a petroleum-based fuel. It runs a little bit cooler. When it's burning, it can't be seen, but it also has a very high flash point. They feel it's a very good fuel for these engines. Well, with 1.9 miles to the gallon, most of the crews were saying we have to make it to at least the 34th lap and make our first stop, and then make it another 35 laps, and then we will be dry at about the checkered flag. Well, now, because of the yellow flag, they are able to get a little better fuel economy while they're running these laps. And because of that, the question of fuel probably no longer lingers up and down the pits. The orders to the teams probably has now become, turn your boost up fuel just as fast as you can go and go racing.
The way the fuel is decided, in Formula One racing, of course, you're allowed only onboard fuel. In kart racing, they figure about 1.8 miles to the gallon. They multiply that by the distance of the race. It's 183 miles here. That is the amount of fuel you get. Now, the car only holds 40 gallons, so 40 gallons are put into the car at the start. The rest of the fuel is in a tank in the pits, and once that tank is empty, you are through for the day. Let's go down to the pits, and I believe we do have Mario Andretti.
And obviously very disappointed, Mario Andretti. What happened there? Did you see Roberto Guerrero's car?
I saw Roberto Guerrero's car. I was there for about 3 laps. And But while it was there, obviously they had the flags, yellow flags warning us. And all of a sudden they pulled the yellow flags in, and I assumed that they pulled it ahead and pulled it in a safe spot. And when I was coming down the straightaway, Fabi was hiding in the front. And I thought they pulled the car away because there was no more yellow flag showing to me. And when Fabi just moved away, there it was in front of me, and I was just had no way to avoid it.
You'd think with this many cars still out there, the yellow should have been there, wouldn't you?
There's no question that at least the stationary yellow should have stayed out there as long as that car was there as a warning, because when you're fighting for position, you have all the view in front of you is blocked off, and you just can't look that far ahead. So you assume that the situation is clear. And when the yellow was pulled, and that was a real trick for me.
Now, you seem to be limping. Were you hurt?
No, I'm not hurt at all.
But the Molson Indy hasn't been good to you in any of the years, has it?
Well, hasn't been, no. I was hoping for a good day today, to be honest with you.
All right, Mario, sorry about the disappointment. Send it back upstairs.
Well, Paul Page, you were exactly right when you said that he probably did not see the yellow flag, assuming the cars had been taken off the track. The yellow flag is down. This will be the last lap under yellow. When the cars come back past the start-finish area, they make this right-hand turn, then a left, then a right, then another left, a turn they normally take at about 160 miles an hour. They will be under green and racing again.
More
that is the
Andretti
Vince
trouble.
Granatelli car of John Andretti, Mario's nephew. As we come back down, no, they decided no, they are still under yellow, still under yellow. The official starter had looked up to us, held up one finger and said one more lap. But when they came by, because of the John Andretti situation, they are still under yellow. We will continue live from Toronto right after this.
Go Dennis! Excuse me, Dan.
They have run 20 out of 103 laps in this 1989 Molson Indy. 11 of those laps have been under the full yellow because of the accident, Mario Andretti slamming into the stalled car of Roberto Guerrero. Now they're starting to pick up speed as they come towards the start-finish area, but they're still under yellow.
And they're going to stay under yellow. They put the pace car back out once again.
That flag signifying an emergency vehicle on the track. And right now, as we are still under yellow here in the Molson Indy, let's go down to the pits and Pat Gonzalez.
We have 30 seconds.
We're in the Danny Sullivan pits with the designer of the PC-18, Nigel Bennett. Nigel, Danny's looked very impressive here so far.
He has indeed.
What about the development on your car as opposed to what Fittipaldi has done with his PC-18? Has the fact that you've had 3 different drivers in the car hindered some of the development for the Penske racing team?
No, I don't believe so. We continue development the whole year, and we've been searching for some missing link, which Patrick seemed to have had over us, and maybe we found it.
Will the long caution period here affect any of your pit stop strategy?
Well, it certainly helps our fuel mileage, as fuel is very tight here for a lot of the quick runners.
Well, Danny Sullivan said here this weekend that this is the first time since hitting the wall at Indianapolis that he feels more like a racing car driver than a patient. Back upstairs to Brian.
All right, thank you very much, Pat. And we should also mention, as we look at the shot here from the Goodyear blimp, the Airship America out of Houston, Texas. Our pilot this afternoon is Mark Kynette from the Woodlands in Texas, the Goodyear Ship America. We should point out, Paul Page, that speaking about the Penske PC-18 Chevrolets, as we take a look at Ludwig Heimrath Jr.'s onboard camera,